always been stories told about the Grand Ole Opry, but there's one few people know about. It's a ghost of 1953. It's a story my dad told me about my grandpa and the Grand Ole Opry. You see, my grandpa was a janitor at the Ryman Music Hall, and this is the way the story goes, as I recall. Well, it happened there on that cold January night when everyone but Grandpa was gone. And what he said he saw back then even chills me to the bone. Because it was earlier that night, the announcer spoke at center stage. Said, "Today, friends, we've lost one of country music's all-time greats. If you don't mind, we'd like to dedicate this show to that special friend of ours, one that we all know." Well, a hush filled the crowd at what he had to say, because he choked on the words. Hank Williams died today. Well, the show still went on, all but with a somber tone, knowing Hank would never sing again, because his life on earth was gone. But after the show had closed that night, and Grandpa had turned out the lights, in walked a pale, thin man, all dressed in ghostly white. He walked across the floor at the stroke of midnight, said sorry, it's so late, as he reached for the old stage mic. And there he stood on the spot where country singers still stand, but because of his drinking, he had lost his chance. And there at center stage, with his old guitar in hand, he was joined by pickers from the past, part of God's country band. Well, the auditorium quickly filled that night with souls that came along to hear Hank sing one more time his golden country songs. Half scared to death, Grandpa saw that night what mortals seldom see, when the ghost of Hank played the opera in Nashville, Tennessee. Well, Hank didn't disappoint them. It was the best show Grandpa had ever seen. Then Hank smiled and tipped his hat and said, "Now it's time to leave." Well, I know this story sounds strange, and only a few will believe, but my grandpa saw the ghost of Hank sing back in 1953.